Most motorists, in fact anyone who travels in a car regularly, will be well aware that there are speed limits on the most roads, in fact on every road, although some roads do not actually have road signs on them showing speed limits. Different speed limits have been introduced on different roads in virtually all countries over the last few years, in large part as a safety measure in order to reduce road traffic accidents and fatalities result from such accidents. Most motorists regard speed limits as something they observe not out of respect for the safety implications but more because of the risks involved if they get caught speeding. Some motorists will undoubtedly respect speed as an issue on the roads and will adjust their speed accordingly, including regarding the proper observation of speed limits on most roads. Speed as an issue is hugely important in road safety and correspondingly in relation to car insurance. When people are learning to drive, they inevitably drive much more slowly and cautiously than they do once they had passed their test and gained some level of experience of driving on roads. Much of that driving slowly and cautiously is actually not very safe driving because it is done more out of fear than out of a respect for the need for a certain speed in relation to the road conditions being driven upon. As people progress in terms of levels of driving experience, inevitably they tend to drive faster in large part because they feel safer within their vehicle and therefore more confident. It's quite rare, if not unusual, that motorists will at a conscious level decide what speed is relevant to the situation now driving. Most countries will have speed limits for all roads that are being driven upon. Certain countries will have a top speed for their motorway or highway or interstate and will have much lower speeds for city and urban and metropolitan areas. Most major cities and towns will have much lower levels of speed around schools and areas where there are children present. The penalties for speeding in these areas and in other areas can be quite severe. There will inevitably be a fine, often have quite a significant and actual amount. They will normally be a number of penalty points on driving license. There will sometimes be an automatic disqualification for a period of time depending on speed being done, and in some instances if there were fatalities a time in prison might be the punishment as well. In fact, in certain states in America, in the South, as you enter the state, that a large signs advising you that anyone caught speeding will face $1,000 fine, loss of license and possible imprisonment as a consequence. The above is obviously intended as a deterrent, but is not something that should be tested. It is worth pointing out that quite often roads will not have signs up advising the speed limit, but that doesn't mean that there isn't one. There is. There will be a speed limit on every road driven upon, even minor ones, virtually wherever you live. It is quite often a national policy in a country not to display what is a normal speed limit for certain roads. It's normally only where there is a difference in the speed limit, either lower or upper, that it is advised to make this by way of a road sign. Peter Main is a freelance writer who has spent almost 20 years in the insurance industry, working at Lloyd's of London. He writes extensively about car insurance and in particular about how the various factors that affect car safety also have an impact on people's car insurance costs. Share this video and subscribe for more interesting auto insurance tips.